Okay, we have our new craft, the Fundraiser Mark III. Let's look at the missions we are going to try to complete this time. So we have a visual survey of the moon, which is 3 crew reports. Fairly, well, it just says above. I don't know how far above it counts. Plant a flag on the moon. We don't have any landing gear, so we're not going to do that one. We have the test, the liquid fuel booster KR-1-2, which are these giant things. We're using them basically as fuel tanks and not as thrusters, since we can't activate them until we get to that height. By that time, they will be completely drained out. Perform a temperature scan of the moon. So a couple of these are on the surface, but the other 2 are in flight, and we can do the in-flight ones this round. The LF-1R liquid fuel engine, which is just past when we need to test these. So that is right there. Tiny little engine thing. Pretty cheap, and I think it had a pretty good payout. Then the TR-2V stack decoupler is that little thing right there. And the LV-1 liquid fuel engine is that one. Took me a while to figure out what it meant by escape velocity, but apparently it means actually escaping Kerbin's orbit. Not merely going to the moon or Minimus, but actually going to the sun's orbit, or the Kerbol's orbit, I believe it's called. So let's go ahead and turn on SAS. Ludgy is going to be our pilot for this episode. Get him a little bit of experience from flying by the moon. And in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, liftoff. Going to keep this pretty slow to start out with, to conserve fuel. Though not too slow, because we do need to get fast enough for that. So maybe a little bit faster than that. Say about 1.6 would be good. Kind of keep it slow, like right around in there. Getting the specific impulse to climb. Climb. What is your max? I think it's 360, maybe? Not quite as enjoying it as much as Jebediah would be. More of a professional demeanor, I guess. Grim determination right there. It is if he doesn't trust me. And I don't know why he would think that. It's been like minutes since we killed our last Kerbal. We've learned our lesson, obviously. How we doing on speed? Seems to be going okay. Fuel, these are drained. Wish I could drop them, but I can't just yet. Think we'll do fine on speed. It is quite a large gap. And the next one is actually even slower. A little bit. We're actually going fast enough, so I'm going to slow this down quite a bit. And trigger them. Then launch them. Good, they didn't hit anything. Then we'll go ahead and trigger that one. Manually shut it down because it does not have very good specific impulse. So our next one is probably going to be the LV-1 liquid fuel engine, since it has to be on the escape trajectory. So we can fast forward until we get into orbit. Now that we have achieved orbit, we need to be a little bit tricky. We need to do an escape trajectory that bypasses the moon, and then reverse our course so that we actually orbit the moon. It's going to take a lot of fuel to do that, I think. Just to try to get where we need to be. Use the moon to kind of slingshot us a little bit. And then if we come here, do another one. Be a way to slow down. What if we just kept speeding up? How much fuel would that take? Ooh, that is a lot. It's 800 for that one, and 9,000? No, 120. So about 1,000 fuel. We could probably decrease that a little bit. If we did it there. Or if indeed we kind of did something to give us another boost. And then we would try to come somewhere right here and slow us back down for a moon intercept. Okay, now that's all messed up. Delete that one. May not be able to get another moon intercept. At least not in that way. What if we sped up this so that it gave us a proper boost out? That would be 800. Still escaping, still escaping. Let's try this. So about there. And then if we tried to slow ourselves down or somewhere. Probably get a minimus intercept. Does look like something's going on there. That would be no 2. What is that little thing? Okay, that's kind of getting us back in the moon again. And we could use that. That would actually speed us up. So we would need maybe another one. Don't know if I can put another one. Probably another one right here to kind of angle us a little bit. Either here or there. I think we could pull that one off though. It's a rough idea. That will allow us to do our test by leaving a whole lot of fuel. It's going to take plenty to get around the moon. So we will go ahead and add one of these using the Kerbal alarm clock now. Just made it burn a minute, so change that to say 2 minutes. Add the alarm. It's going to be probably prograde-ish. Seven minutes. Can't go any faster. Alright. Yeah, definitely progradish. Need to be pretty careful on this burn. Estimated burn time. We'll wait until those even out mostly. Guess we can switch to this screen now. Okay, a little bit of a burn. We need to get that escape trajectory going. Four seconds. Trying to let that one catch up a little bit. But leave me a few seconds to correct my burn. Go full throttle now. I've added hot rockets back in so that we now have a nice pretty flames. I think that's working. It's really the nuclear rockets that I like, and the ion thrusters are my favorite. So burn 8 seconds. 20. Ooh. Okay, that's really, really close. What do I need to do to actually make that better? Do I need to go a little bit faster? I think I do. A little bit. Let's go prograde. Okay, I'm already actually escaping orbit. And I did not notice. Well, it's... If we retrograde here, will that fix things? Just want to make sure these line up. 22 million. That's what we're shooting for. Alright, I think that'll work. We'll have to redo this node, I think. Oh wait, we're supposed to be escaping, not doing that. What am I doing? Derp? Am I out of power? I am in fact out of power. Crap. Can't do anything except for time accelerate a little bit. There we go. Now let's see if we can't do this. Wasting so much fuel. Hopefully don't have to start all over. Okay, there's a proper escape trajectory. Now then, we can add a sphere of influence change. And then I will be back once we have achieved the escape trajectory thing. Alright, we have achieved the escape trajectory. We need to quickly run our test. Got that one done. Then, in a few seconds, we have this node to do. try to do. Looks like we had one there for a moment. What if we reverse that? One that was right there looked good. Maybe even better than one we have. Okay, that's a pretty good intercept on the moon, I think. We'll have to fiddle with it once we get there. Periapsis is a little bit low. We may want to retrograde that a tiny bit. I mean, it is so close to... I guess we'll need to adjust that once we get closer to the moon. Maybe like right here. We'll add that maneuver node. Nobody knows where we're going. Cancel this one. Thank you. Then we'll add a maneuver node here. And see if we can't fiddle with that. Periapsis. Okay, that's much more stable looking. Might even want to do that, like, say, here. That way we don't have to use so much. $45. A little bit more. Okay, let's use this. 1. Still quite far. 39. 200. 205. Okay, yeah, that'll work. I'm pretty sure. We'll just make that, what, prograde? Warp to our thingamaduper. And hope that we don't try to escape again, because that looks like what it is trying to do. Hopefully don't use too much fuel. We have power. Guess I could have done that one a little bit better in terms of how long we have. But it gives me enough time to maneuver. Ooh. Okay, now I have to fix that. Just a single meter per second. Alright, I guess that'll do. It looks stable now. And I will be back once we are in orbit of the moon. Alright, now that we're in orbit of the moon, we can see that the crew reports that we need are all lined up in a polar orbit. So we're going to have to adjust our trajectory polarly. Right. A bit like that, I think. Might have overdone something there. Trying to get it so that I can tell if I'm in the right angle or not. The easiest way to do that is to shrink the orbit so that it actually intersects the planet. And then we can see. That looks pretty good there. If I can click on it, guess I could do it this way. Yeah, that looks like it right through that one. Though, if we were to go back to node 1 and try to tweak it a little bit, so that it goes over a little bit more. So maybe we can hit 2 on the same pass. That looks better. That looks quite nice, in fact. Then we'll just see what your periapsis is. 1600, and I need to be crew report, above 9, above 9, above 10, okay? So that'll actually work. I don't really need to get that low, and in fact, it might not be a good idea to get that low. I suppose we could just not burn this one this time, and say add it to the next orbit, and see if the first pass we could pick it up without getting very, very close. Only 184 there. That's actually not bad for a polar orbit change. So let's go ahead and do that, and I will be right back. Unfortunately, I made a bit of an error here. I neglected to account for the fact that the moon rotates. So this ends up taking many, many, many days for me spinning around this until we happen to cross over the locations that we need. Obviously, we should have picked a better pilot. It kind of sounds like Christmas music, doesn't it? Speed it up. We have managed to do all the things on the moon. So we have one final test to do, and that is test this decoupler, which should happen as soon as we get an appropriate altitude, which we are now. Let's see. So fire that, and then coupler, and there we go. That should be 10 whole contracts. So let's land and see how much money Luigi has given us. And we finally make it back after 114 days. Obviously, that is why Luigi is the second string pilot. Jebediah never takes that long to get his job done, but he did bring back 40 science. Recovered as 868 funds out of the 57,000 that we spent. And he got 3 whole experience. Not bad. Now then, we have lots of money. Let's look at our contracts. So, 74,060 from the stack decoupler. Quite an easy test to do. Quite rewarding. Discard that one. The temperature scans. One of them was 22,055 science. Then the visual survey, probably the whole completion thing, was 120,080 science. That must be the completion reward. Then a visual survey, 20,040 science, 20,040 science, 20,040 science. The first temperature scan, 22,055 science. Did I not delete that, or did I get... No, there shouldn't be that many. The liquid fuel engine is only 6,000, but 72 science. So well worth it doing in that portion. Then the liquid, the other tiny one that was on the side, 60 science and 13,000. Again, a cheap part. Lots of science worth doing. And finally, the big booster was 112,048 science. So now we're up to 683.5 science and 574,000 Kerbal bucks. What do we want to buy? I'm thinking I may want to do some more spaceplane stuff. Could also do precision engineering to do some satellite type missions with some solar panels, maybe. Better landing gear, parachutes, possibly. I do want to go towards this, which I think requires probably that. Of course, we don't really need it for a little bit longer. I do think I want to go down this route, though. Buy that and advanced, high altitude flying. Which one is better? I want both of them, and I don't have enough. High altitude flying is probably going to be better in general. Maximum thrust, liquid fuel, air intake, space-grade materials for very high performance. This new model features the latest in thrust vectoring and compression technology. Engine design operate best at higher altitudes and speeds, and is engineered from C7 Aerospace. And engineers from C7 Aerospace assured us that all those leaks stop once it gets up there. So high altitude flying, and what do you give us? No engines, but you do give us a clampetron, bicoupler, structural pylon, a nose cone, adapter, more adapters, a cargo bay, I like the disclaimer there. Crew cabin, clampetron. These don't seem to be as a big thing, so I think we'll go with this one. And hypersonic flight way over there. Specialized control, so we still have enough for one more. So we could pick this and see if that leads to this. Would it give us anything that we want, like right now? Could also go for the pressure thing to get more science. Specialized control. Those would be kind of nice. But I think we're going to want that for later missions. Let's see what we have in terms of actual contracts now. So we have a visual survey of Kerbin. It's not terrible. Take a crew report in flight. Yeah, I could do that. Satellite science data from space around Kerbin. Not great payout on that. Visual survey of Kerbin, another one. Visual survey of the moon. That's a decent payout. Satellites. Rescue somebody. Explore. Achieve orbit around Minmus. Test something on an escape trajectory out of Kerbin. That's pretty much like what we just did. Temperature scans of Kerbin. That would be profitable. In flight, so we could do 3 ones. We pick up this one. This one. And this one. Polar orbit. That would allow us to do some nice stuff with space planes. We'll need to upgrade this though. Upgrade. And probably upgrade that. We can't afford it. We could actually upgrade both of these and still afford it. I guess that's what we'll do. Even though I should probably save my money for the science facility, I think we'll upgrade both of these. That'll leave us with enough money to do things, and we can get action groups, which is quite nice. Oh wow, that is really expensive to get to the next level. Custom action groups, basic action groups. How much? 300,000? 5? Wow, that is really expensive. anything. Don't really think we want anything here. I think next time we will be exploring some more space planes. But that's going to be it for this episode. Like if you like, subscribe if you're not, leave a comment if you have anything to say. I do read all the comments. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.